Hello students, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. We are going to discuss about supply, its concepts and determinants. We already know about the demand. Now we will try to understand about supply part of the story, right? Supply is the amount of commodities sellers are willing to offer for sale at different prices per unit of time. What does that mean? So people given a price, producers would like to supply the number of commodities or include various services for that. Supply functions. What is the supply function? That is function of Px, Po, Fp, Tgn, Ita. We will discuss each one of the factors, what are these determinants of the supply. One fundamental, of course, for everything, price. Price is the one of the major, the determinant of the supply. Higher the price, more supply. Positive relationship. You may be asking, you may have, how if price is high, why supply will be there? As we discussed, we are not worried about demand side story. Please remember, keeping constant, when prices are high, people tend to supply more. Why? Because they wanted to maximize its revenue. Any seller would like to increase the supply and maximize. Suppose say if you are going to a restaurant, if your breakfast cost was 100 and now if because of the some reason it has increased, so the price has increased to 100 to 150. If other things are constant, then he will have he or she will have more motivation to produce more of such commodities because their margins will be high. So that's the reason in the supply theory we say that whenever price increases, supply also will increase. Okay. Now related goods price, which is also important, because if your price rises, rise in substitute price produces switch to the another product, which in turn the supply of original products will fall, right? Obviously, if you are two substitute goods, related goods, one product, why do we call a substitute good? A substitute good which are the close good which can alternatively also possibly we can use it. If change in one product, if price is higher, they will switch to the other product. If your price is declined, people may continue to consume more of that by leaving the other commodity. So that's where the supply determines also the related goods price also become one of the essential. And factor prices, which is the Fp in the equation where we have seen. Higher factor costs reduced supply, lower costs increased supply. I hope you remember what are the factor cost, factors of production. Please remember this. Anytime you heard this term called factor, it is a factors of production. That's the land, labor, capital organization. I'm sure by this time you can remember. So higher factor costs. Why it is higher factor cost? Again, it can be for some reason it might go up. So that will reduce supply. When the prices are high, supply will be reduced. When lower costs, then supply will be increased because it becomes cheaper, people will demand. So in that way, the supply determinants also, one is factor prices also can be a determinants of your supply. The technology part, better technology, lower cost. Today we see that in terms of safety and security, blockchain technology has been used for a variety of in the services, in the banking technology as well as in the currencies market, everywhere blockchain technology become very popular. So anyway, better technology or like AI has come in. So this would reduce the costs because now with the minimum number of factors, you may be able to produce more number of commodities. Greater supply at same price, right? So the greater supply, because the technologically it is advanced, so that your supply might increase. Another is the G is the firm goals, profit versus sales maximization at different supply levels. Okay, so this also become the firm's goal, like whether you wanted to maximize your sales, that means more quantity you want to sell it, or doesn't matter what quantity you sell it, but you wanted to maximize its profits, is a matter of concern. There are in the producers in the market bigger shops, like for example Cafe Day. All this, what they do, they cappuccino, all this keeps relatively higher price, and they target higher income groups, so that though their sales might not be as good as a street tea seller in terms of volume, but in the profits either both of them same, or the person who sold less also can be higher profits may earn because of higher prices. Why do they pay higher price? Because they wanted that comfort, luxury, or they wanted to avoid some of the people to enter into the shops. So they see that the same class people will be able to enter in by keeping higher price. So as a producer, you have to decide who are the targeted customers. That's where you say that the firm's goals. Natural factors like weather, any floods, or any drought situation, these are all very critical for agriculture supply. So in that way, your natural factors which are common in terms of which can be influenced, because if any heavy rains comes, for example, the entire crops will be damaged, right? Particularly food crops and all that, which will be affected. If the drought situation exists, which your total production will come down, so that could cause the problem. Infrastructure, better transport, banking, supply increases at lower cost. So if your transportation is very good, which commonly can be, increase your total infrastructure. So the infrastructure possibly could be, a better mechanisms to which will be able to improve our total production. Total supply can be increased. That's where you can see the government of India, that lot of infrastructure projects which are coming in the country, and wide variety of banking services also coming in at a lower cost, which can be supplied, so that which is also allowing the supply to increase. The last part is taxation. Heavy taxes reduces supply. Why? Because if the tax is high, your price will be more. That become a problem. So the tax exemptions will increase supply, right? If you are able to reduce your supply, if your taxes are more, it reduces supply. So end of the day, all these factors which is influences the prices. If you understand the determinants of supply, right? So the related goods prices, factor prices, technology, firm goals, natural factors like natural weather factors, infrastructure which might build by the government, and a taxation. All these are the key factors for your increasing the supply. So as the students, we need to remember all these factors, that this would be causing significant reason for overall improvement of the supply. Okay, thank you.